Welcome back to the Kelowna Real Estate Podcast. I am your mortgage broker host, Taylor Atkinson.
How's it going, Morgan Freeman?
Oh, you knew who I was.
Yes. At first, it sounded like him. Then I thought it was maybe some World War II era dude. But yeah, I like it.
So on point with our show today, that's AI. You know, one of the many things you can do with AI, this is not productive use of AI at all, but it's interesting.
I thought it was pretty productive.
Yeah. So we have on Rob, who honestly, he put on a presentation like 6-7 weeks ago at a BC Lender Association conference for me. And he spoke about AI and it blew me away. Like some of the stuff that's going on is pretty cool. And I've always kind of been sitting on the fence. Like I think it's interesting, but what are your thoughts on AI right now?
Honestly, I'm trying to figure out what jobs are not gone. The list kind of narrows when you start thinking about it more and more. I think like the more hands-on are probably the safest. That's what I think about first thing. When I talk to people like this and learn about it, it's crazy what's happening.
Yeah. Something that blew me away was one, there was like an influencer, an AI influencer out of Barcelona, I think, making like 10,000 euro a month, image generated, everything's just AI. And you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, which I thought was like pretty wild. And then the other one, he calls them agents, but it's essentially like your virtual assistant. They can book travel, respond to emails, take phone calls, like, and the more you work with them, the more they, you know, get in tune of what your needs are. And it's wild, some of the stuff that he can do. So yeah, Rob, he does a few things. He'll do like 6-week coaching courses, or he'll come and do like a whiteboard session and, you know, audit people's businesses. I think he has like a plumber that he's worked with where the plumber just goes and he's a plumber now. And all his task management, calendar, everything gets booked. And, you know, clients reach out and it's all AI generated. They just say like, what's the issue? And basically the plumber wakes up in the morning and goes and does the job. Like stuff like that is pretty wild to me.
It's pretty crazy because like AI is pretty good right now, but like it's so new. Wait a couple of years, like the AI assistants, the online ones will be like flawless, especially like texting. Calling, maybe not as, like calls are a little bit more personal. I guess if you're just talking to random people, booking appointments, not that big a deal, but like I'm not going to get an AI to call you and see how your weekend was kind of thing. Right?
Yeah. But I don't think we'll ever, well, who knows, but I don't think we'll ever like lose touch of that. Like, you know, people want that personal relationship.
I think that might be a skill to work on to set yourself apart, is just being somebody that can talk to other human beings. And I guess talk to other AI as well.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you going to like prank call 2 AI bots and just have them talk to each other? Like,
yeah. Well, you know, maybe I will. YouTube sensation.
Yeah, I bet you they'd figure it out within 10 seconds.
If they could figure it out, that means that other people, I guess you could figure it out if you were talking to a bot or not.
Yeah. I guess like whoever's not using AI right now, you know, get out and play with it a little bit. I mean, ChatGPT is the surface of it.
It's funny you say that. I was talking to my sister, was just over for the weekend. I was like, so what do you guys think about ChatGPT? They're like, what's that?
Oh,
just
really?
had no idea. Like none at all. And I'm trying to explain to her what it was. And like, I'm not good at explaining what AI is, I've learned.
That's why we did this show. Just send her the link to the show and there you go.
Yeah. It's hard to explain how good it is and what it does to someone that just has no idea. So
yeah,
I need to work on that.
And I think, I mean, specific to real estate, there's a lot of really good applications.
Oh yeah.
You know, pulling data and CSI maps and stuff throughout the city and figuring out square footage, what to build and cost of things and foot traffic on commercial places. Like it's just endless the amount of data that's available that like would take weeks and weeks for a company to do research. AI can do it in mere hours.
You know what else I found just playing with it over the last, since we recorded the show, was like, if you don't even know what to do, just ask AI, like, where do I start? What do I do? Like, how do I use you to further my business? Well, I'll start with this. And then how do I do that? And they answer all those questions. Just like once you learn how to use this, it's like there's not really a reason to not be good at it or like use it to full effect, or at least not as full effect, but like use it to a more effect.
Yeah, use it to teach you how to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, something I thought was pretty funny. I still type, even though we had this conversation with Rob, I still type in like, please, thank you. Like I'm, you know, I'm very nice to AI. And Rob was like, it's such a waste of money because like the amount of power that like the computers have to use to like process the please and thank you and all like the gibberish you put in. So I think learning how to use like prompts and, you know, make the proper requests is going to be really important.
Well, as it learns from you, like, yeah, it talks back to you the way you want to be talked to.
Yeah.
I guess if you like to use please and thank yous, it's going to start using them back to you.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be good. I think the way I look at it is it takes a large amount of time out of anything that I'm doing. Like if I want to build a spreadsheet, I can get it to do, you know, 70 or 80% of what I want it to do. And then I fine tune it afterward. It's not going to be perfect, but nor are people, right? Like most people, if you ask them to do a job, like maybe it comes back great, maybe it doesn't. You build off of that.
It does make mistakes. So for our hockey team, I'm starting up the hockey team, and I took a screenshot of the costs. So like not even in the type, I took a screenshot of the cost, uploaded it, and said split this between 16 people, add the jerseys in, add this in, and then give us a payment schedule. So it did it all in like seconds. It was pretty cool, like all off a screenshot. A couple of days later, I realized that the math was wrong. I'm like, what? So they're not our overlords yet, but it's heading that way. But yeah, so double check it for sure.
I think we should just jump into the show because Rob was great and he's very accessible. So if people want to reach out to him and talk about this stuff, or if you have a small business that you feel like you should be taught some AI or implement some of it, he's the guy. So.
Also, AI is such a broad topic. Like even us, like we're trying to keep it real estate related. And like, first question is, are we all doomed? Right. So it's like there's so much to do. There's so much to hear about. It's like this is just a tiny little tip of the iceberg for what it is. Right? Yeah. Interesting still.
I mean, we're affected by it daily, right? Like Siri on your phone. Like there's so much stuff that is AI that people probably just don't even think they're using, but we are in some capacity. So
yeah, definitely.
Anyways, enjoy the show, guys.
All right. And this show, like every show, is sponsored by Century 21 Assurance Realty. We are residential sales, commercial sales, leasing, residential property management. We do it all, and we do it everywhere. Southern interior, basically, entire interior. We're there if you need us. If you're looking for an agent or you're looking for a new brokerage, give us a call.
All right. Welcome to the show, Rob Cupello. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Did I butcher that or is that all right?
Do it again. Do it again. I love it. Rob
Cupello.
Oh my God. Are you going to Italy anytime soon there, Taylor?
We're trying to go to Greece, but close by. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rob, like I'm so fascinated. You came and did a presentation at our BC Lenders, like for mortgage brokers a few weeks back.
Right.
I've seen a couple AI presentations and they've been like interesting, but I saw yours and you were just so passionate and like it just resonated me for whatever reason. So we had to have you on the show. Real like simple question that's probably not so simple. Can you summarize what is AI? Like what is AI?
And that's a great question. And I think it's funny because I don't think a lot of people even ask that question. So it's a great place to start. But for me, AI, which is obviously artificial intelligence, what it stands for, people that didn't know.
Yeah.
It really is technology that it tries to mimic human intelligence is really what it is. It's technology that's learned from data that we've all put into the internet. These tools have all been trained on the years and years of everything we've ever done online. They'll make decisions and they get smarter over time. That's where I think where people are not understanding, like these tools, as they learn, they're getting smarter. And right now they're testing higher than a human expert. Right now they can pass bar exams. They've surpassed human intelligence. And for me, the best way to explain it from layman terms is think about you're hiring a really consistent employee that doesn't need coffee breaks. Like that's really the best way to explain it. It's able to take on tasks. It's able to take on writing. It's able to take on having conversations, really depending on what you're doing. And, you know, we're not talking about robots right now. They're coming. These are just tools. They're tools that can really help you sort of through the mundane tasks, but they're trying to sort of mimic human intelligence is really what they're doing. But I always try to say, think about this as an employee that's sitting beside you. That's what AI is today. In my mind, right? We can go down rabbit holes of robotics and spaceships and all that sort of stuff, but let's ground it to our community. That's what AI is.
Last time I was talking to my wife, she was on ChatGPT and she's like, how does this work? I'm like, well, it's a large language model. Basically, it just scrapes all the information from the internet and it works it. She's like, well, how is that different than Google? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. don't know. Ask ChatGPT.
It's funny you say that. Like I teach a class and at the end of the class, I say, all the stuff I just taught you, you could have just asked ChatGPT. Right? So the difference to me, the difference is that Google will give you typically, historically, I search for something, it gives me a listing, right? It doesn't add like much more value than a listing. Where ChatGPT, I can say, summarize an email, create a LinkedIn post, analyze this video. Here's my financials. What do you see? Can you go book my flight? I'm going to Mexico, book my hotel. Like that's the difference between historical Google, because you go to Google now, a little bit different. They got AI embedded into it. If you guys start seeing that now, even downloaded a PDF document today, Google Gemini pops up on the side and said, here's a summary of this document you downloaded. Would you like to ask it a question? Right? So that's AI. That's the difference between AI and what you do in Google, right? So, but it's a good question. It's a valid question, right? It's a valid question because it's information in, information out. So
how long has AI been around for? And what is the catalyst? Like in the last few years, it just seems like now it's so mainstream. Like everyone knows about it, but it's been around for what, 15 years?
No, actually AI has been around since the 50s.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it came out with the Turing test, it's called. So back in the 50s, there was a scientist, Alan Turing, that said that he thought machines could learn. And he came up with this thing called the Turing test that they use still today. It's a set of questions. You ask a machine and you ask a human. And the human needs to decipher if it's a human or it's a machine actually answering the questions called the Turing test. They use it today to test, but it's been around since the 50s. I think the actual word artificial intelligence came out in like 1956, 1957. Don't quote me on it. We could ask ChatGPT. It's been around for a while. So we've all used, Siri on our phone. Like that's all AI. Like Netflix is all, here's the movies you might like, Rob, because you watch these. That's AI, right? That's all.
Like algorithms are kind of like AI?
Correct, right? It's powered by AI, but it's been around for a long time. And if you look at, I have a graph that shows sort of the history of sort of what's happened, but where these tools have really expanded is it needs massive amounts of data, right? So it needs data, it needs processing power. I don't know if you guys saw the article. Every time we go into ChatGPT and say thank you and please, we're costing thousands of dollars. Because it's processing. Every time you type something into ChatGPT, it needs power, right? Something needs the power. So you needed the data center.
Mind your P's and Q's.
It really is.
That's hilarious because I've been using it a lot lately and I keep putting in please and I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
I do too, because my thought is if the robots come and kill us one night, they're going to scare me because I was nice to them. But I treat it like an employee, so I please and thank you. And I'm the weird guy that says good morning to my ChatGPT, like I do. But it needed the power, like to get there. And really, what happened late 2022, OpenAI dropped ChatGPT. I remember sitting around at the dinner table, hear about ChatGPT, and we start like asking it questions, like with the kids, and we're like, "Whoa, like this is freaky, right?" And then it really stemmed from there. So I think it's been there, but I think everything's catching up now. And COVID was the catalyst, right? We all sat in our house, we all went online, and these OpenAI said, there's an opportunity here to really, like, now we got processing power, we have the data, and off it went. Like ChatGPT was the catalyst. Like from there, now all these other ones have sort of really kind of come into the spotlight. But it was sort of that late 2022 when we saw the real chaos, but it needed the power. Like they're literally spending, I don't know if like the bill that they did in the US when Trump first took over, trillions of dollars building data centers. Because right now that's the race, is you need the processing power to power these. Every time you create an image, you create a video, you create a blog post, it takes processing power and data. Right.
So is that the current limitation? Like, do we have enough data pool to pull information from? Is it now just like the processing power?
Well, you really get real crazy into this. So ChatGPT has consumed all the data there is right now.
This is probably outdated, but like it only went up to like 2022 or something.
Correct.
Is it present now, obviously?
Well, because what it did is it stopped training in 2022, but now it just accesses real-time data. So it's been trained to 2022, but now you ask it something, what the weather is today, it'll just go find that information in real time for you. But where it's going, like we hear the word AGI, artificial general intelligence, is that's going to be the last invention humankind will ever have to make, because these tools will create their own knowledge.
Yes.
It's hard to wrap your head around it, but we will never have to create knowledge because these tools are going to create the because they're smarter than us. They're going to be able to detect cancer way before we can, and it's going to be able to do that. So right now, yes, to answer your question, it's consumed all the data. It's learning in real time, but now these tools are going to start creating their own knowledge. So again, it's hard to wrap your head around that, but they're going to create inventions. They're going to create the next best insert whatever. The tools will. So we're just going to be all on the beach. We're going to be all out of jobs. We're going to be hanging out, surfing, whatever you want to do, golfing, and let the robots and machines.
Well, nobody's had to write a realtor listing remark for 2 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a pretty hard question, but what do you think is going to happen to society? Like, is this positive, negative? Like, are we just going to become slugs on the earth? And
I mean, everyone has their own opinion on where that's going and how fast it's going to go, right? I mean, I think that in the short term, we're seeing automating businesses. We see people that they're starting businesses of team of one. Like, we're going to see probably the first, $1 trillion business started with a team of one. Like, we're starting to see that, and that's going to happen. I think today we can automate pretty much the workflow of almost any business using AI technology. They can answer phones, they can prospect, they can fill out forms. They can, think about your personal assistant is probably the best thing. I think what we're seeing. I think from us, what's going to happen to humans, the concern I have, and I know we're going to probably chat about this a little bit, is that things have evolved, right? Like, we don't farm like we used to. We joked before we came on, we used to climb up light posts and light them. We don't do that anymore. But the problem is that technology took a while to come in, years to adopt, where AI, it's there's $1 billion a day going into AI. It's coming so fast. Humans aren't able to catch up. So if it's replacing my job, it's going to replace my job so quickly that I haven't been trained to do something else. That's where that displacement is going to happen fast. And I don't have an answer for that. They're talking about universal income, right? Universal basic income. They're going to need that, or we're all going to be unemployed. I'm being facetious. Some of us will keep our jobs.
Yeah, there'd be 5 of us employed with trillions.
That's right. I mean, I don't know where it's going to go, but we're seeing robots are creating robots today. If I had the answer, I'd be a billionaire. But, I feel like today we're seeing it can really help our businesses, and people need to start looking at that. Over the next few years, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of wearables. That's where OpenAI is investing in right now, is that you're going to be wearing a pin. You don't have to go to your computer. You're going to be wearing a pin that you're just going to talk to, or you're going to be wearing a watch or a phone or eyeglasses that you're going to talk to. So it's getting embedded in our day to day. And in the vision, of where it's going to singularity, which I think people don't want to talk about, because it's scary, but we never thought that we'd all carry a cell phone in our back pockets, right? And we all do now. But singularity means that, think about a chip embedded in us that you're just going to think it, and the AI is going to be one with us. And that's the vision of where they want to go with this. And that chip, for lack of, will dictate, hey, Rob, you know what? You need to go to the doctor today, or you're low on this, and this is down the road. I don't know.
No.
We'll be alive to see this. I'm thinking we will. The technology's coming so fast, but that's where it's going.
It's you need to go see a doctor today. Just kidding, it's me.
That's right. In China, they opened a hospital. I think it was a pilot that all AI run. I know we talk about data, but no one can argue that our medical system is not the best it can be. And if AI can help us, the education system, it's not the best it can be. They're unemployed, overworked. It's not it doesn't work. We're not producing students to come into workforces that are ready to do this, right? So if it can help that side of it, take away it can create a blog post that's easy stuff. It can literally change how we run in our society. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. If we can detect cancer sooner and you can live 20 healthier years, why not? Why are we scared of it? Let's embrace it rather than to be scared of it, right?
It's funny, we have the hospital's a good example where you have the specialists are almost the easiest to replace, than the people the nurses and the porters are the hardest to replace.
Correct.
Maybe not the porters, that'd be pretty easy. But the nurses, the massage therapists and stuff that, it seems like they're kind of safe, or safer anyway.
So on the medical side, I was chatting to Scott Peckford the other day, who's my managing broker. We've had him on the show. We were just chatting some health stuff. He's always into health. And we were talking about DEXA scan. I was oh yeah, I want to get one, but I want to have a doctor to follow up with it and do trend monitoring and kind of see where it goes over the next few years. He's yeah. Or just drop it into ChatGPT. He's that's what I've been doing. Every 6 months, I'll get one and just throw it in there. And that gives me hey, I want to train for this. I want to gain weight. I want to lose weight. What do I do? Here's my scan. That's incredible. That's really accessible to anyone.
Well, and I think the difference is if you go see a specialist, the knowledge for the specialist is, the knowledge through school and the knowledge of the patients that he or she has seen. ChatGPT is trained on every specialist in the world that's ever existed. And you can insert accountant, whatever, like marketer. It's trained on all of it, not just because my knowledge comes from my life, right? Like, and I'm exposed to whatever I'm exposed to in the world of business, but I'm not exposed to what everybody has. You guys are different. If we go to overseas, it's different. Like, there's all these other things. It's been trained on all of that. And that's the power of that. Plus, it's also, where a lot of government is trying to get involved is what's legal, what's not. Right? Who owns this? Who doesn't own this? Like, is it okay to train on all the data out there? There's court cases right now that are like, hey, you trained on YouTube videos. Well, you don't own the YouTube videos. Google does. And I'm like, well, do they? Don't you own it? Because aren't you the one that posted on YouTube?
Doesn't it seem like the cat is out of the bag there?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a great question that I have is, how is this like regulated? Is it at a global scale? Is it like nationally?
No regulation, bro.
Yeah, well, right now, I think the EU, so Europe, has really tight regulations. So a lot of the tools that we use here, you're not allowed to even use them in the EU. They have a really strict policy around AI. We're a little bit of the wild, wild west. I think we're still trying to figure it out. I think Canada typically follows the EU, which scares me a little bit because I don't want to, I think we can't put handcuffs on all this. We need to keep developing these. US is all in. Elon Musk, they're all in. There's no Sam Altman. These guys are not stopping, right? Because the race for US is against China right now in these tools, for sure. This is the first people to go into the moon and first people up to Mars. It's a race for this, right? But here, my concern is that we have, to be blunt, we have, 80-year-old white males in the Senate of the US trying to develop a policy around AI, and they probably don't even know to turn on their computer. I think they have the wrong people in the room making those decisions. I do, right? You need the Sam Altmans, the Elons, and I don't care if you like these people or not. That's not the point, is that you need to have those people in the room making these decisions because they're the one developing it. You can't have someone that, I don't know if you saw the TikTok hearings and the guys thought,
yes,
come on, how ignorant are you?
It was comedy. It made for some good scrolling that day.
Yeah, right. You have the wrong people in the wrong room making decisions in my mind and that sort of stuff. And I'm scared they're going to make decisions that, it's best for them, not what's best for the rest of us that are out there. And that's pretty typical from government policy anyways, but that's a whole different show.
AI seems to be fairly intimidating for a lot of people for various reasons. What should people be dipping their toe in? What's an easy, no barrier of entry? Hey, try this tool. This will impact your life better. Where would you start if someone just wanted to learn?
Yeah, I think for me, the baseline is a large language model. So, I'm a ChatGPT guy, $20 a month. I recommend paying for it. It adds a lot. It's $20 US a month, so it's not a lot. I would say to dip your toe, that's what I would start with, and start asking it questions. Just start simple. Ask it to analyze your email and come up with a summary. Ask it to write you a blog post. Ask it to, hey, this is who I am. Give me 5 ideas that I can post on LinkedIn. Just start dipping your toe. And I think that would be the starting point for me. To me, it's my assistant. It's my CTO, it's my CMO, it's my CFO, it's everything. I talk to it and say, hey, I have an idea, and that's how I use it. And I find the power of it is crazy. You guys mentioned sort of the health side. Is last week I started talking to it. I'm just curious. I'm testing. I'm ask me questions that you need to ask to put a plan together for me so I can eat healthier and work out. And it started asking me questions, and it came up with the most amazing plan with supplement. Now, I'd probably take it to a doctor and say, hey, these supplements healthy or not, but it blew me away what it came back with, right? So that's a good way to start just dipping your toe into these to make sure that you're comfortable working with it, because there's literally thousands of tools, but that's where I would start. There's a large language model. It could be ChatGPT is the most common. There's Perplexity, there's Claude, there's all these, but I would say that's where you should start.
Nice. Yeah. Something in your presentation a few weeks ago, you said that I thought was pretty fascinating. There's a book that you were reading. It was Transcend.
Yeah.
Transcend. And you said the errors in AI, people are worried that AI is going to make errors, but it's actually just a reflection as you as a human making errors because you're the one, responding or putting in the data, which was pretty interesting to me, you know?
And it truly is. I think this guy that wrote this book is Faisal Hulk, I believe is his name. He said, like, we're scared of AI because it's us looking in the mirror. It's all the good, the bad, the evil, everything that's learned on. And it's funny because I think we hold technology to a higher standard than humans because, you know, we have car crashes every day. People die on the highway all the time. We don't look at reforming that at all, but one autonomous vehicle has a crash and we have hearings, we push the panic button, we're like think tanks, like we hold it to a whole different standard than we do ourselves. I don't know, have you seen any politicians ever lie on TV? Probably, right? As soon as he hallucinates, we're like, oh my gosh, this thing is crazy, and don't use it. We hold it to a different standard. And I'm not sure why. I don't know the answer on why we do. But remember that these tools, we control them right now, right? Like it's learning from us. And that's probably my biggest concern is I'm not worried about the AI tools. I'm worried about being in the right hands of the people that are actually using these tools. That's where I think it keeps me up more at night than the tools themselves. I think the tools are amazing. They do amazing things. We just keep the tools at a higher standard than we do at humans. We've always had this technology. We've always done that. And I'm not sure why. I don't have the answer for that above my pay grade. So
yeah, I've started playing around with it a little more frequently. Like I had it make a spreadsheet the other day, which I love spreadsheets. It pumped out a spreadsheet in like a minute. Yeah, there were some errors. There's some things I want to adjust. And I just told ChatGPT, like, change this, and it did. That saved me like an hour. Another one I just used it for is comparing insurance policies. Like, you know, hey, this is my old policy. This is the new policy. Can you highlight any like differences, red flags? And it just made like a chart, apples to apples. Here's the differences. Here's why this policy is more superior or not. And it's like,
do you just upload a couple of PDFs for that?
Yeah, I just dragged in 2 PDFs and said, highlight the differences between these 2 insurance policies. And then like trip planning, I prompted it with, you know, hey, we want to go to this area. This is the cost. This is what we want to do, blah, 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 blah. And it drafts in things from like Reddit, TripAdvisor, Booking.com. And it's wild. It's really cool stuff.
And I always say, like, what we're using is the worst these tools are ever going to be.
Exactly.
They're going to get better every day. Like I said, a course I teach, and I'm teaching automation. I have a class today. It's so funny. Today, a big announcement came out on one of the tools that I demo. So now, like literally today. So the class this afternoon is going to get the latest and greatest of this new tool that came out. And literally next week will be another tool and another tool. So it's hard to stay up on it. That's why I say, like, to me, ChatGPT is sort of the baseline. The other tools, if you do a lot of presentations, there's a tool called Gamma, Gamma. That's absolutely amazing. You just put in the data, it builds your deck for you. Like with all the graphics, all the charts, everything built, like literally in a push of a button. Because I do a lot of proposals, like changes your, like, it sounds little, but literally I spent 4 or 5 hours, 4 hours built. Now it's done within 10 minutes, like 15 minutes, even if I got to go and edit it. And to me, that's not the value. Like the value for a client isn't paying me to build a deck. Right? Like a slide deck. The value is now I can spend time actually in strategy and working in their business and helping them rather than spending time trying to build a slide deck for them, which makes no sense. Right? It makes no sense. So, you know, even websites, I was talking to a client today, like, you know, if you came to me 10 years ago and needed a website, it's, you know, they're $7,500 to $15,000 and you're 90 days in. We can turn around websites for $3,500 in 48 hours. You know, and so it's a benefit to the client as well because the cost came down and we can use these tools at our advantage. That's just a simple little, like, really, it's a website. We're not talking about we're saving lives, right? But that's how these tools have affected sort of the day-to-day on how businesses are run.
So what do you think a person could do nowadays to kind of gear up for the future? Where's a safe bet right now? Should you just be learning about AI as much as you can, or?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I think for me, it's like, like knowledge, right? Knowledge is king. And I think don't be scared of these tools. A lot of them have free layers in them. So you can go and like set up an account and not pay and play around with them and see if they work. For lots of them do that. They typically will start charging when you start activating them. I really believe that AI is going to be just a common term. Like if you use AI and you use automation, you're at an advantage over your competitor. That's going to stop. Like eventually it's just going to be it's going to be embedded because they're starting to get embedded in tools. But for me today is, like educate yourself. Like go into ChatGPT, ask a question. Go to YouTube, watch videos, because everybody's different. Like even within your guys' industry to real estate agents, the way you manage your business is going to be different. Like the tools might be the same, but your workflow is different. But I would say, just start educating. I think that's my biggest push right now is trying to get just people educated on what's out there, what you can do, how you can use these tools. Don't be scared of them. If you're worried about privacy policy, you can turn a lot of the sharing off on a lot of these tools and just educate. That's step number one. And then step number two is actually start implementing them into your day-to-day. Just pick one thing. What's one pain in the butt thing you do? You're like, man, if I didn't have to do this day to day, it would save me time and energy. Let's automate. Let's find a tool that will help you and then move to the next one, move to the next one. Like we're automating a workflow for a dentist. So our jobs, we can automate it. Almost every industry we can find value to help automate things from, no matter what the industry is.
What about things like working on like people skills, face to face? Is there any like AI insulating skills that you could think of that would be good?
Yeah, it's interesting because I work a lot in TRU and in Kamloops and UBCO. I've been working with them and on some stuff. And one of the things that I've been noticing is, I have kids, they have zero like interpersonal skills, right? Yeah. And especially the ones that have really went through COVID through school, right? They miss that a lot. I'm an old school person. I like to be in front, try to travel and meet. You can't replace that. Like, I really feel like that's the advantage humans have over any of this technology because, I was at an event last night, like you meet people, like AI can't do that, right? So I'm still a big believer of, I want to work with you because of you, right? And I think where I see these tools is behind the scenes. They can help you with your operations. They can help you with your workflow. They can help you with your content. But that interpersonal skill, I think, is super, super important. The one cool thing now I'll add about sort of tie in what your question is to, there's tools out there today that would record our conversation as we're having this conversation today and give me feedback in real time. Hey, Rob, like in the 28-minute mark, you could have more energy, or you didn't hear the objection from the client. So they're actually becoming coaching tools for you. And one way I use ChatGPT, because I use it a lot, I'll ask it. I'll say, hey, what do you think I could do better? Knowing how I worked with you today, what are some things I could do better? And you'll come back. You'll come back and say, hey, you could have done this, or what about this? Or I'll record meetings and put them in and say, coach me what I could have presented better. It'll do it for you. Like, it actually becomes your coach.
You got to be very open and comfortable to be able to like take criticism from a computer, eh? Like,
I'm fine with it. Like, so I'm a thick skin. Okay.
Like, you call it an agent, like an AI agent. Is that basically like your assistant? Is that in ChatGPT? Like, do you like buy the pro version and then like that's essentially like, how do you like build this assistant?
Good question.
And agents, I mean, that's the buzzword right now. Like, a lot of people say agents. There's a couple of different things I'll unpack there. One is, if you want to create a digital twin of yourself, that would be more like an avatar where you can use it. And I think I might have played one at the presentation. Taylor wasn't sure, but that's your digital avatar. So it's basically a duplicate of you. It can create content. You can upload a script. You'll read a script. You can put it on LinkedIn, whatever. So that's a little bit different. Then there's probably two different sides when it comes to sort of that agentic side. One is you can create an agent that will do stuff for you, right? You can say, go in and post my LinkedIn, comment on my LinkedIn, whatever. That's one area of an agent. Another area of an agent, it'll answer the phone for you. So those aren't necessarily built in ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the wrapper around it because it needs to be powered by something. So it needs to be powered by a large language model, but you're typically using another piece of software to layer on top of ChatGPT. And they're already built. Like, it's not like you need to go code. There's ones that, whatever. There's lots of agent software out there. And then the third thing is workflows, right? You can automate workflows. You can use tools like make.com where you build an actual workflow. It'll take your work and automate it for you. So it's kind of agentic. It's not a person, but it actually is automating the workflow. An email comes in, it goes to ChatGPT and writes it. It comes to you to approve it. It gets sent, it gets added to a database, it goes into a drip, and it'll automatically do that for you.
How long does it take to learn? Like, what's the evolution? Is it over a couple days, a couple weeks? Like,
I mean, typically, if you just wanted to be like an FAQ bot on your website, you can do that in a couple days. If you wanted to really replace and act like you, we'd like to have about a 30-day runway because you need to train it. You need to be able to give it data. Like, you would record stuff like this in meetings and load your transcript in there. So it starts understanding how you talk, what your tone is. Are you professional or you're not? Do you like to joke around? It actually starts learning, and then you can tell it not. You can say, hey, like, don't be as, like, I'm known as sort of a little bit of the jackass in the office and I'm witty. That's me and I'm okay. That's my style. But you might say, well, no, like, you know what, in this meeting, in this context, you need to be more professional. So you need to train it to be that as well. It never stops learning, right? As you do more, it's going to learn more, it's going to learn more, it's going to learn more. And then right now, like ChatGPT, I make very little changes to anything it does for me because it knows me. Like almost no changes to anything I do. When I first started using it, I would almost like rewrite it all because it just didn't know my tone. It didn't know who I was, right? So,
oh my God. So how long do you think it'll be where you could jump on a podcast like this and it's actually not even you there? And we're just talking to your
thinking that.
It's already there. It's already there. There's people that sending avatars to their virtual meetings. Like there's a program called Notebook LM. You can upload a document, it'll create a podcast voice, and then you can go to HeyGen and put 2 people in front of it, and there's your podcast done.
Oh, damn, we're out of a job.
Yeah, the Kelowna Real Estate Podcast is soon to be hosted.
Oh my God.
But it could. I mean, I don't recommend it necessarily because I think I said there's some things that you still want the human involvement. Yeah. You could do it. That's what I mean. Like, there's not a lot of things out there that you could ask. And I'm like, no, we can probably automate. No, we could probably do AI. There's almost anything, right? Like, and that's where I think, again, people just need to start wrapping their heads around that these tools are here. It's not like this is coming. It's here today. And that's what people are doing. And I think I talked about it in the presentation that there's influencers. There's AI influencers. One in Spain, Tina Lopez, I believe, maybe Tiana Lopez. She has, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of followers. She makes 10,000 euros a month. And she's an AI influencer that an agency
That's
created.
insane.
So like I've heard of this and I've heard a few other ones, but like why isn't there just like thousands of those now or millions? Or
exactly. Why isn't there?
Is there going to be?
We created one. So we have Elle in Kelowna, and part of it was just us testing, right, to play with these tools. But I think that you're not going to know the difference soon. You know what? That's the scary part. You're not, right? You're not going to know what's real and what's AI. It's at that level. There's videos created now that you would not know. You think that they're a Hollywood animated video. It's totally not. They're just TikTok accounts that are 100% AI. The big trend right now, if you guys seen, there's I don't know if you guys are TikTok guys, but there's a gorilla in the wild that goes and it's all AI. Yeah. It's like one of the most followed accounts. And it's super funny if you like that kind of humor in a Yeti. That's all AI, right? Like, so there are accounts already doing this sort of stuff. There really are.
Do you think it'll just pollute social media so much that it'll just be like boring? Because it'll just be so fake.
So, I mean, I'd argue like, I think social media is fake now. So that's
good point.
Even with humans, because they're taking pictures inside of a hauled-out plane and going, I'm in my jet. Right? Like, so I think you're seeing that already, right? Like, you can rent a Lamborghini and go, look, I'm in my new vehicle. And they just rented it for 10 minutes just to do the shot, right? So I'm hoping, again, I'm back to saying that I'm not worried about the tools. I'm worried about how the humans are going to use them, because if this is done right, it's about working with your clients at a real personalized level, right? So you could create content at scale, and you could have a database of 10,000 people and send out 10,000 personalized messages to 10,000 people relevant to them. And people are going to love it because now you're sending me something that's pertaining to Rob, right? If you use these tools right, I don't think we'll pollute it. Now, can you pollute it? For sure, 100%. You don't think the next election that comes is going to be like, they already did a stat on the last Canadian election, and I don't know, it was a crazy amount. Like 60% of the posts on social media were bots, like going to make comments and talking about that part. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, it's there already. It's how we use it. Like, it's the most powerful tool we've ever had in my lifetime, for sure. And you can use it for bad or you can use it for good. That's my biggest concern, is that the people with all the power are going to own these tools. That's where I'm worried. Like, if only Sam Altman and Google and Elon own these tools, because we're not going to create a large language model. We don't have billions of dollars to go create it. We're at the mercy of them. That's probably where I'm the biggest thing. But today, we're on level playing field. Nike uses the same tools that a client in Kelowna could use.
Yeah.
Same tool, right? So, and that's right now, it's a level playing field for businesses right now with these tools. So.
Yeah, I guess like related to housing. Yeah, we have podcasts all the time where we just talk about stuff we're interested in. But I'm thinking like specifically to like Kelowna housing, you know, if a developer was interested in this geographical location, how many people come here a day? What's the traffic like? What's the density you're allowed? Like, there's so many things that you could just input and probably have a report in an hour. Is it deep thought?
Deep research.
Deep research. Yeah. So is that like taking off recently?
Yeah, we just did a project for a client. I won't mention it, but he's a developer in Kelowna that was looking for that sort of data. How many people go into the downtown core? How many competitors are around? We use deep research to find all that data. Now, I say research, like, look through it and make sure you're right. But I mean, it's crazy the amount of data that it came in and give us. What it'll do is go get census information. It'll go get, I mean, it's no different than if I had to do it myself. Unless I'm going to go stand downtown and count people, I'm pulling it off of the internet. I'm pulling it off reports. That's what it did. And deep research, the way it works for people that aren't familiar, is that literally like it sounds. It won't give you an answer right away. It'll like go away and think and research and like go and dig deeper. Sometimes it takes half hour to an hour to come back to you, but it comes back with super robust information for you. And the difference in the free version, I think you only get 5 of those a month. In the paid version, you get like exponential amount, like 20 of their deep researches. For that industry and like the housing industry, super powerful tool that you can use. And that's just one simple way that they can use it.
You know what else is funny? Just thinking about this right now is like a developer submitting a proposal to like City Hall. They could do this and then have it tailored to each counselor, have a section in there that's tailored to that counselor to try and get the votes to vote for it.
Yeah.
Right. The power of persuasion now is like kind of taking a huge...
That's a great point, because it's just these tools have allowed to personalize the communication with whatever audience, whoever audience is, 100%. And it does it in real time, like in real time. Right. So
from an education point, and, I'm talking elementary to university, like, is this being embraced by education? Are they now saying like, yeah, we're promoting this, like, here's an assignment, use AI? Or is it still, no, this is our curriculum, like, you are not allowed to use AI?
It's super ad hoc. That's like one of my passion projects of working with AI in education in that space. And my kids are graduated or soon to be graduated, but there's an area there that my kid's school, he's in Kamloops, actually, he goes to school there. They sent a memo, 1952, an email at the start of the school year that said, no Apple Watches, no phones, no computers, no iPads in the classroom. And I'm like, WTF, this is crazy. Like, you need to start embracing this and teaching the kids how to use it. You don't think my son uses AI? His dad teaches AI. So of course he uses AI, but I teach him how to use it properly, right? Like at a university level, some educators are embracing this 100%. And some educators are like, no, you can't use it in my classroom. So there's not a consistent policy in place. It's starting to come around. Overseas, they're teaching it in China. They're teaching it at like grade 2 level, grade 1 level, because it's coming. You shouldn't shelter the kids from it, because they're going to be at a disadvantage, because they're going to graduate and come into the workforce. Right now, we're not hiring unless you know these tools. Plain and simple. Our team is either you use it or you can go find another job. And I don't sound like an ass saying it, but it's because it's efficiency to our clients. Like in our industry, we're working with our clients' money. Right? It's not our money. We're working with our clients' money. And we need to be as efficient as possible. And if you don't use these tools, or at least want to learn. So these kids that are coming out of university or high school and don't have the knowledge on how to use it properly, they're not going to find jobs. Because if I know it and you don't, I'm going to get hired before you. So to answer your question, it's really ad hoc right now. Like there's no policy in place, but it's starting to come. Like we're starting to hear more, starting to implement it more, starting to bring it into classrooms more. I think we're going to start seeing it because they have to, because I think the shift is going to come. And I don't know where it's going to go. There's AI schools in the US. There's schools that only teach using AI in the US right now, right? So.
Wow. Yeah. Well, segue into teaching. I believe you have a course starting in like 15 minutes. So we gotta let you go. But what is your education process like? Can people sign up for courses that you currently run?
Yeah, right now I only have one course. It's called the AI Advantage. It's a 6-week course. I teach it for 6 weeks, take a little bit of break, teach it again. Once you sign up once, you're in it forever. So you can come take the sprints as many times because these change all the time. It's the only sort of paid course I have. It's $197. It's really reasonable. It's 6 weeks. But we also do free workshops. We do lots of like free workshops. Every month I do a free webinar. So we try to like just get education out there. That's my focus right now, is education side, to get people, the businesses understand. We're going to be launching a boot camp in August. We're just working through that, a 3-day boot camp. People just want to condense sort of learning. I teach more on like, I want to say the basics, like any business can come in and really understand. And the idea is by the end of the 6 weeks, I'll give you homework. Go build your logo, go build your website, go build your video. Like, so every class you're building on it. And by the end of 6 weeks, you kind of have something you're leaving with as well. So that's sort of how I teach. And if you want to go deeper, UBCO has programs online. They got a lot of programs. I teach all the modalities, and I'm just going to get a real baseline. I'm going to show you some tools. I'm going to teach you theory, and then you can go off, explore yourself a little bit with these tools. That's sort of the program, how it's set up.
Awesome. And if somebody's running a business, like you work with business people to do like a whiteboard session, audit them, see what you can streamline, implement this stuff. So
100%. I nerd out on this stuff. Happy to come in, work with businesses and kind of map out how they can add AI and automation in their businesses and build them a little bit of a framework on how they can do that. And every business is different. So we kind of we do this whiteboard session where we come in and really understand the business operations, the workflow, and then see where we can add value within AI and automation within those for sure. So
I love it. Well, how can people reach out to you if they have any questions?
Well, the best way for me is LinkedIn. Like you thinking in the industry, I mean, I'd be in all the social channels, but the best way, you can go to our website, czechcreative.com, or my LinkedIn, Rob Cupello, easy to find. I'm active on LinkedIn. You can message me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to grab coffee and chat as well. So it's probably the best way to reach me.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Rob. Really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks a ton. Like, so fascinating.
Next time I'm sending my avatar.
Yes.
I'm questioning right now if I'm speaking to you or not.
It's me, I promise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, have a great day, man.